In the grand old year of 1997, the PlayStation 1 was kicking all kinds of butt in the video game space, and Konami tried to do something a little bit different. They brought out a 2D side-scrolling Castlevania game called Symphony of the Night, and it was a smash success in this era of 3D game development. It is number 27 on our list.
Now, there's always this term that floats around, the Metroidvania. I can't stand this term, but we have to invoke it here.
Metroidvania.
You know, Super Metroid predated this, obviously, and so what the Castlevania team did is they took the template of Metroid and they applied it to this RPG world, and they created something that was huge in scope that started off with this incredibly lush cinematic at the beginning of this thing, the whole rotoscope thing around Dracula's castle.
Awesome.
I mean, back then in 1997, we'd never seen anything like this.
They had to throw some production value in the music and in the cutscenes because when we went back to the gameplay, it was very much in keeping with what we'd already seen in 16-bit game consoles. And Sony was adamant that they didn't want their partners making titles that looked like this. So this beat a lot of odds, and it became such a unique experience in this time because we were all sort of getting completely inundated with 3D polygon-based excursions.
Well, one of the things that Sony was trumpeting with the PlayStation 1 was that with the CD-ROM as this new format to deliver games on, they could deliver soundtracks that were unlike anything we'd heard before. I mean, these were lush, layered, orchestral soundtracks. I mean, the soundtrack for this game stands tall as one of the greatest video game soundtracks of all time. I can still hear the theme music in my head as I brush my teeth at night before I go to bed.
Absolutely. They were able to record full symphonies and not just have these MIDI cartridgey sounding tracks on this thing anymore.
And the boops.
Which was great. I know Tommy used to love talking about this soundtrack all the time. I love the crazy monster creations in this thing. You just never know whether it's going to be a fish thing or a werewolf or a skeleton.
And it's a lizard at the same time, and it's shooting spikes at you.
Die, monster! You don't belong in this world.
The other thing that was pretty amazing about this is that even though we had played some pretty cool Castlevania games before, whether it was on the Game Boy or the Super Nintendo or even the Genesis.
There were lots of cool ones.
There was good ones, but this was like taking all of those games and making it the freshest thing your eyes had ever seen. Like the best memory of those great Castlevania games, kind of in its own sort of HD phase. It's like all of these HD remasters that we play today. It's like that's what they delivered with this game. So it was huge in scope and ambitious in design. It also looked and sounded better than any other Castlevania thing that we'd ever seen before, and it was so damn good, they haven't really been able to capitalize on how good it was again.
And they tried and
tried
failed.
and tried.
You know, there are some mysteries buried in this game that to this day I still don't understand. And the fact that I still think about this game really is a testament to the incredible work that they've built here. I mean, they've done something really cool. And speaking of mysteries, let's talk about Vic and Tommy's outfits in this look back at Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
Now, what about Symphony of the Night?
Castlevania.
Castlevania.
For the PlayStation.
Here's like a 2D game. I mean, Sony said, oh, we're not going to do 2D games except for this one.
10 years, man. 10 years Castlevania games have been around, and it's really cool to see them evolve. You know, they've been 2D all the way along, and here on the PlayStation, again, we have a 2D game, and I think this is going to be the last 2D Castlevania. I think the next one is going to be all 3D. The play mechanics are pretty much the same as they've been all the way along. The new parallax scrolling effects and all the new whiz-bang sort of flash that the game has to offer. It's, if you're a Castlevania fan from way back, you're going to love this game. If you're a PlayStation diehard and you've got all kinds of titles in your library and you want to take a look at what made games great before 3D graphics were such a big deal, this is one to take a look at. Konami kicks with this one, a 9 out of 10.
I give it an 8.8. I think it's a very good, above average game. Again, I'm so into the 3D thing now. It's hard to go back to the 2D for me, but it is fun. It's good fun.
Listen, we were a couple of styling dudes in the 90s. I'm not apologizing for any of our looks back then.
Fail.
Yeah, absolutely. But Castlevania Symphony of the Night, you are the furthest thing from a fail. You are number 27 on our list.